Hello friends, Joe Lynch here from the Logistics of Logistics. Today I am at Manifest, the future of supply chain and logistics, and I'm talking to my friend Reed. Please introduce yourself and your company and where you're calling from today.
Hey guys, my name is Reed Loustalot. I'm with Truck Parking Club. I'm the Chief Parking Officer. I live in Scottsdale, AZ. Company's based in Chattanooga. That's where Evan lives, but we're scattered all over the place.
So who's Evan?
Evan's the founder CEO.
So what is Truck Parking Club?
So Truck Parking Club is a two-sided marketplace where we help drivers and fleets find and reserve hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly truck parking across the U.S. We've got 1,442 locations at this point, and all the locations are businesses with extra space for parking. So think like trucking companies with yard space, towing companies, repair shops, warehouses. Insert industrial company with extra space on their property, and they can list that property on our site, and drivers can use it to reserve parking there. So it's like Airbnb, but for truck parking.
Very nice, very nice. So I know there's a lot of challenges with truck parking. What causes those problems?
All sorts of things. I mean, it's very difficult to build. So if you think about just like the total pie of truck parking, the total capacity, it doesn't increase very quickly through the kind of the old school means of growth, right? Building or repurposing. At the end of the day, a lot of public projects especially cost between $100,000 and $200,000 a spot for a new project. So it's just slow to add capacity. And a lot of the truck stop operators, the big chains, there's only so many places you can build like a scaled truck stop, and they've got most of those spaces spoken for, so it's very difficult for them to add excess capacity.
So if I'm a trucker, I got all sorts of problems. I can only pick up when they say I can pick up.
Yeah.
They load me as fast as they load me. I get on the road, whether the weather's bad or whether the weather's good. There's traffic problems, and I got hours of service that I have to, all of these things I have to meet. And then somewhere along the line, I have to park.
Yeah.
And am I right to say that they're torn, where they say, I want to get to this parking spot tonight, but I might not make it? Or I might get there and I want to drive an extra hour or two because I have those hours.
Yeah.
So please talk about some of those challenges.
Yeah, I mean, there's a massive kind of drag on the efficiency and the effectiveness of your typical driver because of this very reason. If you've got an hour left on your clock, but you're in a spot, you don't know if you're going to go an hour further down the road if you're going to have a spot there. And so that that causes a lot of anxiety too from a trip planning standpoint. So I mean, there's on any given day, the driver spends on average 50 minutes to find parking every single day, and that's like a massive efficiency loss just for the overall system, let alone the productivity of an individual driver. So it's it's a massive issue, and I think the advantage of what we're doing is it's reservable ahead of time parking. And so if a driver's at the beginning of their day or trip planning, they're like, I want to make it as far as my clock will allow me, and they can look at our locations and see there's a spot 620 miles away, right? And they can set their sights on that, and they know they're going to have a spot when they get there, and they don't have to stop 50 minutes early to search. I mean, that's like you compound that over weeks and months and years. I mean, that's a huge efficiency gain for the fleet, if it's a company driver, for the owner operator, but just in general for folks who want to be productive, right? They want to work. They don't want to stop and waste time. Right. So that's what it is.
We've been talking before we hit the record button.
Yeah.
We don't have a driver shortage problem. We have a utilization problem.
Yeah.
We are consistently putting our drivers in a position, because of hours of service, because we didn't load them on time, because of traffic jams, where they're forced to make a decision. Do I take a chance and drive past this truck stop, or drive past a place that I know about?
Yeah.
Can you give them flexibility?
As long as there's a location that we have, and all of the locations are in our app, so any driver who has our app or website.
So if I booked for one night here, can I drive 2 hours further and get another spot without losing money?
One reservation for two separate places? Not right now. So no, we don't support that currently. I mean, that's an interesting idea, though.
Well, here's my whole point: is we've got to somehow give drivers flexibility back.
Yeah.
I guarantee we're losing drivers because of flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, flexibility. It's the nature of the job is very difficult. Oftentimes, it's like very thankless, but you're quick to be blamed whenever things go wrong. I was a broker for a number of years, and I always said, I won't curse on this, but I've always, they say the stuff rolls downhill and it hits the people at the bottom of the hill the hardest. Like, as a broker, you're kind of like slightly up the hill, but then the driver's right there, and they can be blamed for things that they have no control over all the time, and that's a very stressful thing. That sucks.
Well,
Nobody likes
and
that.
we optimize when the shipper wants to ship and when the receiver wants to receive.
Yep.
And the problem is, those guys, I'm not saying they don't have, you're running a factory, a distribution center, you got your own challenges. But we got to get to a place where we start to think more about the drivers and his hours of service and him or her parking somewhere safe that night.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about like just the overall utilization of our, like, just if you look at the macro system, there's so much waste in it, in people looking for a place to park, in people not being able to find a load quickly. I mean, there's just so many opportunities to improve the kind of the effectiveness of our system. And it's exciting to be in a place like this because I think a lot of people like understand that and are trying to work towards it. But I mean, when you're dealing with a warehouse specifically, I mean, you know, scheduling is not, I wish it were easy, but you know, every warehouse has their own way of operating, and it's just like,
is drop and hook better for drivers?
I would say so. I mean, who wants to sit and wait for hours? You know, like
better for my scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I talk to a lot of drivers, and they're like, I just want to drive. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to wait.
You don't want to sit. You don't want to sit at a dock,
at a grocery warehouse, and get 7 pallets rejected, and you know, spend a whole day screwing around waiting to figure out what's going on. I mean, it's like crazy. Yeah.
One last time, Reed. What is Truck Parking Club, and how do you help drivers?
We help drivers find and reserve parking at 1,400 plus locations across the U.S. Hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. So I need a place to spot for the night, you can use us. I need a place to stop for an hour, you can use us. I need a place to leave my truck when I go home, you can use us. I'm a fleet owner, I need a place to drop trailers, but my warehouse doesn't have extra room, you can use us. I mean, there's a million use cases.
I love it. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time, Reed.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.